Good afternoon. It is Monday, November 19th, just a bit before 2 p.m. My name is Stock Darts, and in today's video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a contrarian play on Amazon.com. We're going to do this through options. This is a continuation of the free previews I'm giving on the new tier of subscription that I added to my Patreon page based off of options trades. For those of you that are unaware, you could find my Patreon page at patreon.com/StockDarts, and in it you'll find a lot of trade ideas. I post usually about 3-4 trades a week, or trade ideas, and it's a good place to look at potential ideas and potential trading content based on a lot of technical analysis and some options analysis as well. So what we're doing today is we are looking at Amazon. As you can see, Amazon started the week pretty poorly, right? We're down about 4%, and typically Thanksgiving week is sort of a bullish week, and Amazon in particular, and retail in particular, tends to perk up a bit as we start to approach Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and that's not the case so far, and may not be the case. The end of this year has been particularly brutal, and a lot of names are really not performing well, and it keeps catching traders off guard that are expecting us to sort of resume the bullishness that we've had for most of the year. However, I still want to go ahead and take a contrarian play through options because I think that we have a chance to have a pretty good trade that could work for us if we get Amazon to just hold steady. We don't really need it to go up. We just need it to not continue to break down. So as long as Amazon doesn't sort of break below today's lows through this week, then I think this trade will be a successful one. Now, there's a few ways that you can approach something like this if you're using options and you want to go ahead and try to take a slightly bullish play on Amazon. I didn't want to go with a purely directional one because there's a good chance that we just sort of stick around here and don't really run back up towards the 200-day moving average, and I don't want to go ahead and sell put premium because I don't want to go ahead and put myself at risk for more downside on this name than I need to. And the play that we have is still going to put us to risk, or put us at a decent amount of risk, because after all, Amazon is a name that's $1,500 a share, and it's not going to be cheap to find plays that work with options with a name that's this expensive. So what we're looking at is a calendar spread, and for those of you that aren't aware, a calendar spread is a position where you spread a pair of options through time instead of through direction. Typically, when you're buying options and you want to buy a spread, you'll say it's a call spread. You'll buy calls at, say, 15.25 and sell some at 15.50, and in that case, you're spreading it directionally, right? In this case, we are going to be buying and selling at the money calls or just slightly out of the money calls, but we're going to spread it through time. So we're going to be selling premium from this week, and we're going to be buying premium from next week. This, of course, is a bit more of an advanced strategy. And if you are someone that is new to options, or again, if you don't really want to absorb the amount of risk that a trade on Amazon would entail, then maybe you want to follow this along with paper trading, but you know, just at least get some exposure to these types of strategies and how they work. Because again, if you are just buying and selling stocks, you are doing yourself a disservice. There's so many other ways to profit off the stock market, and one of the keys that really helped me become a successful trader was learning how to trade through some of these plays that are directionless, in that they don't really make money based off of a stock moving up or down. They make money based off of the stock either not moving at all or moving and not caring which direction it is. And in this case, we're hoping for a delayed movement. That's really the ideal goal for this trade. So we come on over to Thinkorswim, and what we're going to do here is, for this week, we're going to sell either at the money or slightly above the money. I'm going to go slightly above the money to give us a little bit of a bullish slant on the play. You can see Amazon's trading at 15.21 right now. We're going to go with about 15.25. So what you want to do is you want to sell the 15.25 call for this week. Right now it's trading at, say, between 30 and 31. So we'll say like 30.50, 30.75 would be a fair price. Just a ballpark. And for next week, again, we're going to be looking at the same exact strike, right? So 15.25, and we are going to buy this one. You can see this one's trading between, say, 49.40, 50.20, so probably in the neighborhood of, say, 49.75 or so. That way we keep it pretty even here. And so what we're looking at is $1,900 or $19 per spread, so $1,900 per spread. Now, granted, that's expensive. That's how much is fully at risk. Now, the only way you would really lose that much is if Amazon gaps down, 10-15% overnight. What we're really going to be doing with this trade is we will stop out if we go below the lows from earlier from October. We don't want to hold this down if it starts to gap below 1450, 1400. Basically anything below about 1480, 1475, and we would just close out the trade. Now that's not what we're anticipating. What we are anticipating is for Amazon to stay something like this, right? Somewhere within today's price action, maybe even if it goes a little bit higher into the 1600s, we'd still be okay with that play. And that's ideally what we are trying to go for. Now, the other thing we're going to add to this is that we are planning on continuing this trade into next week. But I will have an update video on this on Friday where I explain how to go ahead and try to transition into next week. Once we have the call premium from this week, if we are successful and this goes to zero and we have premium left on the call spread, then we have a choice to make. Do we just take our profits, or do we try to extend the profits into next weekend? Again, there's a few different ways of doing that. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we can either turn the call from next week into a vertical call spread, or we could even go ahead and turn this into some sort of a credit spread if it goes above us and we end up with a short play where we might want to hold the share short and then try to turn it into a negative play. There's a few different ways of doing it, but ideally what we're looking for is for this 30.75 to go to zero and this 49.75 to hold, say, maybe or hopefully at least half to two-thirds of its value. And if we can get that, then we can either turn it into a bullish play next week or just close it and take our profits. And so that is the idea as far as how we're going to go ahead and approach this. There's really not much more to it than that. That's how you go ahead and take a calendar spread. Again, what you want to do is sell the front month or the more recent or near-term options, and then you want to buy the further out options. And in this case, again, we're just going with this week and next week. We just want this to be a trade that we're taking into the end of November. And if all things go to plan, then as long as Amazon doesn't have a continuation breakdown, then we should be okay. Now again, if it ramps up and rallies up to 16, past 1600 into the 1680s, then we might be in trouble. We might have to go ahead and reevaluate the play and sort of change the structure of it. But we do have the structure in place where there's only a certain amount we could lose, and as long as we stop out or roll it around, we'll be okay. So if you guys take this trade and you are unsure of what to do with the play, feel free to find me on our Discord chat or on Twitter, or you can email me, and I'll be more than happy to give you advice on how to go ahead and sort of keep sort of working with this trade in order for it to work in the way that you are hoping it does. Hope this helps, and that pretty much covers it for today. I will see you guys in the next video.